So the aim of the presentation today is to provide an understanding of scholarly publishing scenario in the present world and how to avoid publishing with the predatory or non-standard publishers, especially predatory or non-standard. So basics of scholarly publishing I would like to cover, and reputed indexing services, then indexing matrices very briefly, and also to identify predatory and non-standard journals. So before attempting into this indexing and other journal services, I would like to give you some kind of preamble regarding what kind of venues you can have in the world, in the publishing world, to publish your research. Actually, many of the researchers and the scholars and the academics would like to publish their research and their knowledge as soon as possible. So I have numbered in the speed of availability on the left side and the publication venue on the right side. Actually, when we are talking about the speed, the best speed you can achieve is from your own college's institutional repository venue. That I think every library is launching this institutional repository in their websites. So publishing in the institutional repository is the speediest way of publishing your research. But I will go on and you will understand why the journal is important. But these kind of repositories are counted for the webometrics, scientometrics, and other matrices. But not indexed anywhere. That's the main problem we are having with the institutional repository publications. But it is available for the world to see. So it is very important. It is counted in webometrics. Then number 2 is proceedings and symposium abstracts. That also has some kind of high speed, because as and when you have the conferences are going on, you can present in the conferences and discuss in symposiums. So the proceedings are, of course, publish their full papers, and symposiums, the abstracts. So it is, you can have a speedy publication of your research through this as well. The thing is, again, these things are not captured by any renowned indexing services. But still, these can be accessed to the institutional repository again, if available, if the library can make available in the repository. Then the number 3 is coming as the newspapers and newsletters. Always you can publish your research if you have some contact in the newspaper people, media people, as well as the institutional and the subject newsletters. That is also easy. But see the red one, that is the 4th one, that is the journals and periodicals. When you are publishing in periodicals and in subject journals, especially in scholarly journals, it takes little time, some kind of average time, sometimes 3 months, 4 months it will take. That is because when you submit to the journal or a periodical in renowned nature, in a reputed nature, they send your article for peer reviewing. That means there will be 2 or 3 people are blind reviewing the article. So to get these reviews from the authors or the reviewers is not easy. It takes little time because they are meticulously going through these articles for many factual competences and also the presentation competences, etc. So your article should come into a shape to be accepted by that reputed journal. So it takes some time. But once you can get published, it's really worth for that. And that is why it came under the level 4, that is the speed of availability. Then I'm going to the next level, books and monographs. That is, of course, not easy to publish books. So anybody can write books, anybody can write monographs. But when you attempt to write a book or a monograph, you are touching the whole scope of that subject area. You just can't write something as you've done for the presentation or a proceeding or for a newsletter or newspaper. You have to do a wholesome approach when you are compiling a book, compiling or writing a book on your own. to publish. It takes longer time, I think, than writing a periodical article. The beauty of the periodical article is it is always very specific. It always addresses to a very focused point. But when you're writing a book, it is not so. It actually it's kind of a distributed view regarding the scope of your selected subject area. And also the edited works. That's the sixth point. That also takes long time. But anyway, today we are concentrating on journals and periodicals, how to publish in journals and periodicals. So why we are concentrating on this? That is very important to understand. Why the journals are so important is it has a publishing scope in a specific coverage. That's the main point we should understand when we select a periodical title to publish. It has a publishing scope in a very specific coverage. You can see now many journal titles are cropping up having multidisciplinary nature. Anybody can publish in this journal. But the readership is very low because readers don't know whether their interest of subject area interest is covered in that multidisciplinary journal. But if a journal is focusing on one specific subject area, the readers know where to look for. So that is one very important point why the authors are to select their own journal to publish in a proper way, understanding the specific coverage. Right? That is very, very important. Second one is its nature. Its publishing nature. It is a serial. That means it's coming maybe monthly, sometimes fortnightly, sometimes biannually, like that, quarterly, like that. Normally, the academic, scholarly, reputed journals are not coming fortnightly. Normally, it sometimes comes monthly, sometimes quarterly, sometimes biannually, sometimes annually. Right? So it has a continuous readership, therefore. So its serial nature is very, very important. Some authors would like to publish their articles in parts. Sometimes they can select one issue of a journal to publish the first part. Then the person can go to the next issue to publish the second part. That is also done by earlier authors, but very rarely now. So its serial nature is also a very supportive characteristic because it covers a lot in the subject area. Third one is it has a continuous readership in specialized area, as I told you all earlier. Many journals, many scholarly journals are confined into one specific subject area, and it has a continuous specialized readership as well. So you are right into that readership. So it is very important for you to understand your readership. When you are selecting to publish one journal, your idea should be, your focus should be to address a particular readership in that specific, selected specific area of study. And it also bears some very important identification that is called the International Standard Serial Number. You know, in many academic evaluations, the ISSN number is considered as one evaluatory point. International Standard Serial Number, like ISBN for the book number. So because when you publish, you have to take, the journal publisher have to take this international serial number from its national library. Taking the ISSN means it goes online. Online means it is indexed online. If any journal don't have the ISSN number, it is not captured by any documentation services in the world. So looking at this number is very, very important when somebody selects a journal to publish. So remember that. So you can visibly find it out in sometimes in the cover page or in the verso of the back side of the front page. It is available there. Also maybe also in the content page. The other nature of the journal is it comes now in printed as well as in e-form. There are a lot of e-journals. You are very well aware of this. Than the printed journals. Many libraries now going for the e-form than the printed ones due to the cumbersome procedures in handling, storing, etc., etc. The modern generation especially prefer to have e-form online. It is very easy for them because they are very much depend upon the mobile devices. So it is very important for them to have all this literature in e-format. Above all, this point is very, very important for you all. Above all, journal title and the articles are captured in a bibliographic service when you publish in a reputed journal title. This is called your article, and the journal and the article is indexed. This provides metadata for information retrieval. Metadata, what is metadata? Metadata is the information about information. Here the metadata means in a journal article is all the searchable information like author, the title, and the scope, and the research points, and the methodology, etc., are taken out, actually extracted by a system, by this indexing system, to provide better information searching for the user. So which provides metadata for information retrieval. So indexing is very, very important. When you are publishing an index journal is very, very important to provide your research to the world. It is very, very important. I will come into this indexing services in the later in this presentation. So this knowledge capturing mechanisms, this is a knowledge capturing mechanism in the world, highly contributes to authors to get cited, access to knowledge, and knowledge enhancement as well. So why now you can understand why the journals are so important to publish your research. So I'll go to the next slide. And so there are a few types of capturing mechanisms in the world. First important the mechanism is the indexing services, as I told you. It captures only the bibliographic information. That means the information about the information source. Maybe a book, maybe a periodical article, whatever. It captures the that information of that particular article and the source of that article. So these are called the bibliographic information. That means book-related information. So these information may be are the author, then the title, then the scope, then the keywords, etc. And the publisher and the date of publication, etc. are there. Now the metadata are very much essential to create this bibliographic information. For an article, it is the author and authors, then the year of publication and the title and the publishing source, that is the journal title, then the volume of that particular issue, particular journal title, and the issue of that particular title, then the number of pages that article is appearing, etc., can be seen as the bibliographic information. Nowadays, it is that DOI is there, that document number is there, and the author ID is there in some cases, and the websites are also mentioned in some cases. So we are coming into that later. So it is very important service that is called the indexing service. Next one is the abstracting service, but it publishes only the research summaries. But these two services are complementary each other because indexing, the abstracting services are extracting information from the indexing service. So these two services are complementary each other. You know, in the indexing service, the users can have only the very bibliographic information only, very brief information. But when you consult an abstract service, the abstract is there, that's the research summary is there for them to understand. In some cases, by reading the abstract only, they can get the idea whether they are to whether it is actually they want to download the article or not. So it is very important to save the time of the user. The third one is the full text databases. All of us are very familiar now about these full text databases. The total articles and the total proceedings are available online for you to see. But these databases are not indexing services. They are not creating any indexes for the authors. But it has some reputation, making the research open to all. It has the reputation for that. Maybe under open licenses, CC BY licenses, maybe not. Maybe institutional licenses. They open the full text databases for the users to access. So the importance of you can still understand the importance of publishing in journals, the importance still remain when we consider these three services. So the journals. Main journal types, it is very, I think it is important for you to understand. This is the main point that you should know. There are a few types. There are printed and online journals. Only the medium of publishing is different. And there are index journals. There are top journals with high impact factor, recognized indexing through recognized indexing services. You can have this link and see what are the top journals in the world upon the impact factor. I'm coming to that, right? Then there are scholarly journals, peer-reviewed. They may be having moderate sort of impact factor. Sometimes it is available locally or indexed by some other local services. Still, these journals are also good. You can publish still on this. But there's another type, right? Top journals and scholarly journals both have some kind of good impact, but top journals have the internationally calculated impact factor. You can see when you get into this link, it's a long list that you can see. And these scholarly journals, institutional journals are, if not indexed by the indexing service, may not be included there. But still, if it is indexed locally, still you can go for that. The other two things are there you have to very careful of. One is non-indexed journals and non-standard journals. You know, there are many people now, they are trying to create, publish journals to earn some money, actually for on profit basis. They issue the journals, but it is not indexed by or reputed by evaluated by any indexing service. But the journals are there, especially the magazines are there. These cannot be treated as journals, the magazines. But you can see, especially in the academic sector now, many societies, student societies, alumni, all these people are trying to publish journals. So our question is, how far these journals are indexed or captured by the indexing services or evaluated by any international organization. So that is one problem we are facing with these non-indexed journals. Sorry, non-indexed journals. Then also the non-standard journals. Especially student associations publish these journals without getting proper instruction or proper evaluated process from a librarian or from another competent authority. They just publish journals, but authors are mistaken this as a good venue to publish. So that is one problem with the new authors, because they don't know whether these journals are indexed or not. Sometimes these journals are vanished on the way. Maybe they issue one or two issues, then after that you can't find it anywhere. So definitely the library needs to throw away that, because it is not indexed, it is not continuing. So this is a real problem. But these people are not predatory. They are not predatory journals. They have no intention to actually misuse the author's interests. They actually they normally start with good intention, but they can't keep up, because publishing is not an easy job. It is actually a very expensive thing and very tedious job, publishing a journal, because you need a reviewer, a set of reviewers, editorial board, all these editorial people is to go through all the articles, and all the reviews are to be incorporated into the articles. You have to send it back to the authors, then again to get it back. It is not an easy process. So these journals can't survive for long. So the authors are mistaken to publishing. I have seen in this kind of many non-standard journals, there are very good articles. But who is there to index these things? So if an information is non-indexed by anybody, the information is a deadlock, because it is not flowing to anybody. If it is available online, if it is indexed through a indexing authority, then it is flowing to the other part of the world and the readership. So it is actually a waste of funds as well as the time and the effort. But the predatory journals, it's really a fake journals that you can see. There are hundreds and hundreds of predatory journals are propping up, especially for with the profit-making motives, right? They are not indexed by any kind of index journals, indexing services, and also any kind of abstracting services. So you can see their characteristics when I move to the next slide. They don't have a impact factor, definitely. What is the? We'll see what is the impact factor. This is the factor, that indicator that you can identify the predatory journal. This is the main point that you can identify the predatory journal. First, we understand what is a impact factor. Actually, impact factor is created by the Clarivate Analytics. Now it is Clarivate, and used by the authors to decide where to submit an article for publishing. Especially this impact factor is very, very important to understand the reputation of the journal. Right? Authors can decide going to the on the web. In the link I have given above is given the impact factor. Then you can see higher the impact factor, higher the reputation of that particular journal. The list is here in this link. There are many journals titles are there, and not only the authors, then the libraries also to make collection development decisions by looking at the impact factor, and also the academic departments to assess the academic productivity and scholarly status of their academics as well as their journals, and also universities to score on university ranking on academic status. So what is impact factor and how it is calculated? Impact factor, or often called journal impact factor, is an index provided by an analytic company name that is Clarivate. And the impact factor is calculated by dividing the number of times the articles are cited in 2 years, in past 2 years, by the total number of publication in those 2 years. So total citations are here, and the number of publication in those 2 years in a specific area of study. So the impact factor of journals equals 5 here in this example. There are different ways of many people, many organizations with different impact factors to calculate this factor, this indicator. This is how the Clarivate Analytics calculate. So this is one part of the top part of that journal list, calculated impact factor. Here you can see in 2020 and 21, that is the first place had gone to the Cancer Journal for clinicians. Right, that has 508.7 impact factor. There are many people who had been downloading and reading online this journal. So it had come rank number 1 here. Like that, there are a lot of journals coming down and down. I have taken only first part of that screen, just for your information. You can access through that link I have given. So you can see important point is you have your article is to get indexed, to get more and more cited. So publish in an index journal to get cited. So you have to publish in an index journal to get cited more and more. You can see how nice if your journal is cited by many people in this kind of index journal. So it is very important for you all as academics and professionals. So the number of citations. So number of citations you get from the calculating the citation will increase your scholarly reputation. That drives to capture, you are captured in the citation index, then captured by search engines like Google Scholar, and automatically retrieve your work from evaluations and can use online author ID authentically. So it creates a lot of reputation, academic and scholarly reputation for your name and for your article, as well as to the journal you have published. So this very important system, citing system, initially started by a language scientist called Eugene Garfield. As far as 1945, he was experimenting in 1945 and came out some kind of index in 1955 that is called the citation index. That means how many authors are cited by the other authors. That is index using mathematical formulas. So the first index that was published was Science Citation Index in 1964. The citation index actually revolutionized the total scholarly world. So actually these citation indicators were downloaded by many professors and academics when they are applying for their promotions, academic promotions. And I remember when we were working, when we joined as librarians, we were getting these indexes in that 5 1/4 diskettes. So these were called the current contents on disk, CCOD. So we paid, the libraries paid huge amount to obtain these indexes. At that time, no internet, we were getting all this from that bigger diskettes. These are called diskettes. These words are not even in use now. Now, Eugene Garfield helped to create current contents, science citation, journal citation report, index chemicals, etc., etc. So now I'm coming into the very reputed indexing services in the world. So I have taken only 6 services for you to understand. There are many more, but these are the prominent and who are listed, who are listed on the top lists. First one is the Web of Science. Web of Science, one of the major multidisciplinary academic databases by Clary Weight, formerly Clary Weight Analytic, owned by the Thomson Reuters, still owned by the Thomson Reuters, consists of 6 main databases. It records actually from, it starts 1945. I'm coming into these databases. What are these? The next one is the Scopus. It's very familiar for all among all of us, actually hosted by Elsevier. It's a very reputed publisher in the Western world. The Scopus is the Elsevier's abstract and citation database launched in 2004, and it has a history in 1966, going back to 1966. The other one is a very important one. People are very scared of publishing in open access journals, but it's not so. It is not the medium and the model of publishing. It has a reputation, but you have to select the reputed journals. But if that open access journals are listed and indexed in directory of open access journals, it's a reputed open access journal. So it has a CC compliance, that means Creative Commons compliance, as well as gold standard. Before I'm going for the next slide, that is the other 3 indexing services I have selected. Two are from the medical sciences field. Other one is from Sri Lanka. First one is the PubMed. That is, PubMed was developed and maintained by the National Center of Biotechnology Information Center, NCBI, and the PubMed is a free resource of biomedical resource and life science literature. And the Medline it's a free resource, but Medline is to be paid. It is run by the National Library of Medicine, NLM, in America, and it is indexed with the very important subject headings. NLM, that is medical subject headings, mesh, we call mesh subject headings, to maintain the uniformity of entry of these articles as well as the effective retrieval. When we, if we have the mesh thesaurus with us, it is very easy to retrieve the search exact article from the Medline. So it is a very important feature of this Medline, but it is a little bit expensive now. It costs around 14,000 plus US dollars. So many medical libraries are subscribing to this database, right? So the other one is the SLJOL, that is Sri Lanka Journals Online, maintained by the National Science Foundation, supported by the INASP UK earlier, and funded by the CEDA. So it is. This is also very important. Now Sri Lanka Journals Online star journals are now indexed in Scopus. So it is very, very important to know. This is available in Sri Lanka, but very well maintained by the National Science Foundation of Sri Lanka. And I'm coming into the Web of Science for collections. These are the main collections you can understand. You can see if you are from the science field, it is Science Citation Index Expanded is there. If you are from the social science field, that is social sciences, and the pure sciences also going to the Science Citation Index. Then the Arts and Humanities Index is also there. And then the Emerging Source of Index also, it's a multidisciplinary. You can see that also. And you can search this online to some extent, but if these are not paid, you can't get the full benefits of it. And the Book Citation Index is also maintained by the Web of Science, very reputed books. There are Sri Lanka authors' books as well. You can see there are Sri Lankan books, very scholarly, intellectually written books are there in the Book Citation Index. And also the Conference Proceedings Citation Index is also there. There are some proceedings there. Not all proceedings are taken by the conference proceedings by the Web of Science. You can see the master list of these resources through the journal master list. I am giving this link for you to search, clarivate.com homepage. It is over there. You can search the list only, right? So there are some analytical tools for you to understand how your journals are analyzed by the Web of Science. First one is the journal citation report. It's a well-known indicator to present the quality of the journal title. So it is very important. You can see the journal citation reports. If you click here, if you search on the Google, it will give you direct contact. Then Insight is an assessment tool based on the sites that allow to compare the scientific productivity of an institution. That's also very, very important to use Insight to evaluate your own institution's site, very much used by the librarians to evaluate their own reputation over the publishing. And the other one is the essential science indicators, the scientific performance, and to track the research trends of a particular area of study. And the research ID is the other one that is maintained by the Thomson Reuters. Very, very important. It's some kind of jewel for you to wear as an academic. So if you add this research ID into your profile, it's everybody know that you are a reputed academic. You are published very well, right? The other one is the Scopus that is maintained by the Elsevier. Scopus is Elsevier's citation and track database, launched in 2004 and managed by Elsevier. And it has a lot of thousands and thousands of titles and articles submitted for the life sciences, social science, physical sciences, health science, environment as well. It is there, and IT and computer sciences are also there. So you can check the master list through this link. It is there. It is in red. I'm giving you. And there are very analytical, very important analytical tools created by the Scopus. First one is the SLIIT is the most innovative index of Elsevier available for the scientific community, which calculates the average number of citations received from a publication in a certain year. To understand your journals, the reputation SLIIT is very, very important. The importance of this is, effectiveness of this is, it is updated monthly, which differs from the impact factor of the Thomson Reuters of the Clarivate. They do it yearly, but here it is monthly. For you to, very important for you to check this monthly statistics if you want to check the impact factor of your journal. And the SciMago journal and the country rank is also important and highly used by the Webometrics, offers a ranking of journals whose reputation is reflected by the number of citations weighted by the document published in a certain subject area. There are few important, very important analytical tools by Scopus. Another three, that is source normalized impact factor, measure the impact factor of the site cited according to the characteristic of the field of knowledge. That is very, very important. You know, the medical science is different from the computer science. Computer science is different from the electrical engineering. Like that, different subject areas have different characteristics of their subject field. So this tool captures the characteristics of that specific field of knowledge. You can create that. So it is important for you to understand about this SLIIT tool. SLIIT tool. The other one is the very much individualized ranking system that is called the H index. Very much familiar with among all of us in the H index. If somebody have a very higher index, H index, that means the author is highly cited by many other authors. So this is an average between the number of citation and the number of publication of an author, widely used lately in the research evaluation systems. But this system is a mathematical system, weighing system. So it has a specific method of doing. If you check this on the Google, it will display how the impact factor is, this H index is calculated upon your publications. The number of citations for each publications are listed out in this index. And they use some kind of mathematical formula to create this H index. So you can try and see manually what is your H index. Right? The Scopus ID is also the author ID. That is also very important for you to wear as some kind of recognition with your biodata. So that also gives the identification of the number. That means you have your work is cited by and captured by, indexed by, and abstracted by the Scopus. Right? Third one is our own thing. It is very important for you to know because before sometimes the newcomers, novices of our academic area can try the Sri Lankan publishing in Sri Lanka online. There are different journals. You go and see. It is alphabetical. It can be alphabetically searched. It is there, but they are highly standard journals. They just don't accept any journal title to index in their appear in their site, right? So it is very important database because it is UK evaluated and they use different ranking method called JPPS. When you enter into that, I'm giving you the link. When you enter into that database, Sri Lanka Journals online database, you can see against each and every journal, there are now some symbol is given, very clear symbol is given. In some symbols, it says 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. That is the JPPS stars. That is the evaluatory method of the JPPS. Very simple evaluation, but it is better for you to go through this evaluatory status. It is mentioned in the National Science Foundation website. So you please go to this website and find out what are the good journals for you to publish locally. So these are now good journals, not all journals. Good journals in the Sri Lanka journals online are now Scopus indexed. Now we are coming into the very important part of this presentation, that is the fake and predatory journals. Actually, very cheap and quicker possibility of publishing. Sometimes it takes only 2-3 days to publish in this. It looks very nice, and they ask you to pay. Maybe credit card payment is necessary for you to pay. As soon as you pay, the journal is on, that article is online. We don't know whether it is peer reviewed or reviewed by anybody, whether there's any editorial board to go through this article. So it is very important for you to understand the quickness of their publishing. Quicker the publishing, danger the faced by you. Higher the danger you face, quicker the publishing. So so Jeffrey Beal, a scientist, had listed the available in 2017, has listed the predatory journal titles available in the world. So go to this site, it is listed out as predatory. And this page is now, he is not maintaining, but one of the anonymous person is now maintaining it, but he is not adding anything into it, but maintaining only the links. Anyway, Beal list is very, very helpful for us to understand the publishers, standalone journals, and the vanity press. What is vanity press? It's another kind of predatory system. Actually, they are working for the profit. They charge very high price for the journals, maybe peer reviewed, but you have no authority, you have no copyright remaining once you publish with this vanity press. So it is not only the predatory journals, there are predatory indexing services as well, like this. These fake indexing are very dangerous. It looks like very, very scholarly, but when you go inside it, what are the journals they are indexed? It is very low quality journal articles are indexed. Even the spellings and the grammatical mistakes are, you can see, it is very, very visible. So you have to be very, very careful regarding these fake indexing systems. Index Copernicus, Scientific Indexing Services, Directory of Research Journal Indexing, Academic Journals Online. It looks very nice. Global Research Journals, Scientific Research Publishing, World Open Access Journals, Scholar Journals, etc. There are many more. So they have their own impact factors as well. So the tools are also there. So you have to be very, very careful regarding these publication venues. So I would like to give you some kind of extra points as well. GIF on an academic journal is a scientometric index calculated by Clarivate that reflects the yearly mean number of citations and Web of Science. So as a journal level matrix, it is frequently used the evaluation tool to calculate, and relative importance is there for a journal to stay within its score. So journals with higher impact factor carry more prestige in their respective fields. Very, very important for you to understand. Always select your own field of journals rather than publishing in, especially in multidisciplinary journals. It's okay that multidisciplinary journals are actually, it is good for the social sciences and humanities, but not for the pure sciences and applied sciences like medical science, engineering, and those fields. So always try to keep your prestige, to keep your reputation. Always try to publish in your own journals in your own sector. It is very important. Then the H index, I'm just giving this. H index is an author level matrix that measures both productivity and the citation impact of the publication. It correlates with the obvious success indicators such as winning the Nobel Prizes, right? Being accepted for research fellowships, and the academic evaluations for the senior lecturers, and also for the associate professors, then the full professors, and also for the vice chancellor, when evaluating for the vice chancellors, and also for the chairs, department chairs. They use H index to evaluate their performance. So as I told you, it depends on the citations of the scientist. Okay. What is the problem lying in these predatory journals? We'll see. We'll see there are specialized characteristics in predatory journals, right? There are a number of journals in one area of discipline and sub areas as well. There are popping up a lot of same titles available in the same subject area, and they are going behind the academics using the emails. I don't know how they obtain our emails. And your emails, you must have been getting a lot of advertisement from them, and insisting the academics to publish with them. So publish advertisements are there, and it's an emerging online publishing models are also used by these people, by the predators. So you have to be careful. And they have fake indexing system, as I have told you earlier, and accelerated speed of publishing. Some people take about 1 or 2 months, but mostly it is within 2 weeks your articles are published. So it is very, very important for you to understand these journals. Who are them and what are the journals? So there's a journal evaluation criteria. There's a rubric presented by I will share with you later, this rubric presented by the Loyola Marymount University. And if you just press this link, you will be there in the evaluation rubric. I will just show you after this. And there's other one evaluation system is, as I told you, the JPPSS stars. That is also supported by the INASP UK, and again supported by the CEDA funding, and African Journals Online also supported for this. So nature of predatory is, some people, you have to understand this, even though you know now about the indicators of the predator journal, understand that these journals, sometimes they are not predatory on purpose. Sometimes they are predatory through negligence. Other people are, because as I told you about the indexer, non-indexer and non-standard journals, those people don't know the gravity of publishing a journal. Right? As I told you, the student societies and some associations just publish some journals, and some individuals are also publishing some journals. That is through negligence. They do not meant for predatory, but some are on purpose, especially to make money. So, so there are few indicators given here to understand their predatory nature, their primary goal, their reputation. Their authors are targeted by the publisher, not the users, not the readers. Authors are targeted because they are going behind the authors, right? Like that. And the titles are just a vague but broad scope. It is not specific at all. When we are looking for a title, that's why it is very important to understand your own area of interest and select the correct title. And the open access model is exploited by them, by the predator publisher, and the revision not required. They just publish. So plagiarism is to a very high level. So it is very important for you to understand, when you publish with them, your journals are plagiarized to very high level. That is also very, very important. I don't know whether they are not using any kind of software to check the plagiarism. I mean the similarity checking, like Turnitin or some other at least free software. They do not use. And the duration, sometimes in 3 days it is published. And authors would say that now it is published, I can put into my biodata, my list of publication. but it is not so. When you are going to the evaluation, it is not a reputed index journal. Then you have got fought for that. So it's a trap. And as I told you, emails are sent to different, the authors, reputed authors especially, and for the new coming author, new coming academics, they are going behind them. And databases, none of the journal titles are indexed in reputed databases, etc. These, these characteristics are there for you to understand their predatoriness, right? It is very important for you to think about these points. And also, open access publishing is not predatory. That is very important for you to understand. Open access is not a predatory publishing venue, but they are using it. Anyway, open access journals are very much now getting popular because of the cost we have to pay for these very highly indexed journals, and also for the e-journal databases. So this open access publishing is very much now popularized by the International Federation of Library Associations to upgrade the knowledge of the world that UNESCO is supporting for this open access publishing. The knowledge, actually UNESCO and the IFLA, that is International Federation, truly want to publicize the scholars' work and to give more knowledge to the world, to actually alleviate the information poverty, especially through the open access publishing. Information poverty exists everywhere, not even in rural areas, but even within us, within the urban areas, within the scholars even, information poverty exists. So we are to alleviate this information poverty through the open access publishers. And there are few open access venues that you can depend upon. Open access or Open Library of Humanity, Director of Open Access Journals, then BMC, then the Frontiers, and the Hindawi is a newly popularizing place, and Public Library of Science, and the LCV also now they are coming into the open publication. Also Springer, LCV, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, all are now trying to come into the open access systems. All these people are very highly reputed and listed in top 10 publishing publishers list. So you can go for this link to understand the publishing process, how to publish in scholarly journals. Elsevier has a guide. Elsevier always have different guides they are putting out. Recent guide is how to write for scholarly journals. Read this. It is some kind of eye opener for you, and some not for the very experienced writers, but for the novice writers, it is very important. So you can go to this link and read this guide, how to publish. There's some important discussions is there. So with that slide, I would like to wind up this session. Now the time is almost there. I would like to take one or two questions if you have. So before winding up, I would like to thank again the Library of SLIIT